Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM20 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's season 14, episode 1, and today we make our league debut and our competitive debut with Barcelona, one of the biggest clubs in the world. So if you don't know why we're here and you haven't met the players, you haven't met the staff we're working with, please do click back in the eye above before you do anything else. You can catch up with the last episode where we got this job offer, we contemplated, we moved to Barcelona, and we met everyone we're going to be working with regularly. And today we'll just fill in the gaps with a couple of new staff members in key areas, a few new transfers coming in, and of course look ahead to our first league game, as well as an exciting 2 weeks to go in a transfer window. Still an awful lot of money to play for. The finances are good. There's nearly 80 million left to spend and £1 million a week remaining on the wage budget. There is plenty of money to be spent by the director of football, who of course is new to the club. So we'll show you what's been done so far. We'll show you our new tactic and we'll go and head into this first game hoping for success. We've got 3 friendly games at the start. And then guess what? We'll be back for transfer deadline day and Real Madrid at home. Doesn't get much bigger than that to start. We've also got Champions League action coming up then as well. So who knows how big this first month's going to be. But we'll wait and see how all of that unfolds. First of all though, if you are looking forward to this new season with Barcelona, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know down in the comments how you think we'll get on and where you think we're going to finish. And thank you so much for your incredible support as always. If you want to stay up to date with this series, the new one that starts on the channel tomorrow with Macclesfield and all of our other content as well, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. I can't thank you enough for your continued support. But let's go and have a look, before we do anything else, at the new staff members who have joined the club, because that's always the less exciting bit, but probably the most important. And we've got a couple of new Englishmen with us, because we got an English director of football, which the chairman brought in, and then he brought in an English assistant manager. So the 2 main voids that needed to be filled have both been national compatriots. So we've got Michael Edwards as director of football, coming from West Ham, 22.5 grand a week. He is basically perfect at his job. So maybe negotiating's a little bit off, but otherwise he should be excellent, and hopefully we'll get 1 or 2 English players in as well. Jadon Sancho has asked for that to avoid leaving, so we'll have to hope we get at least 1. And then our assistant manager is Tim Jenkins, and he's not much worse. The only difference with him, he's an exceptional coach and he's really good mentally. He's professional, he's got a great reputation, he's had a long spell at Liverpool beforehand. However, he is only an average judge of ability and potential, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out for us. But otherwise, the news is all good, so I don't want to get too disappointed by that. And then we go on to transfers, where of course Michael Edwards will have the biggest say so far, and he's only done a little bit of business at the moment, but it's big business, and they're the bits we've got to keep an eye on. So let's go to our transfer history and see what's happened so far this summer. 4 players have entered the club. 1 we already knew about, which was of course Ruben Van Vernacre on a free agent deal. We worked with him last year at Chelsea. He helped us to Premier League success and Europa League success. And he's going to be a good backup for us at left back this year. We've also had 2 leave the club since we've joined and a few others that were pre-agreed. The goalkeeper void was sort of answered by Aaron Ramsdale leaving, but that's been sorted as well. There's 1 youngster that's come in, so only 2 first team signings, both from Manchester City. But let's talk about the players that have gone out first. So we've got Houssem Aouar. He's gone to Lille, and that's a 34-year-old French midfielder. So we talked about him in the last episode, being over the hill but brilliant. He wanted to leave, he was on big money, and it just made sense. He's a Barcelona legend, scored 1 in 3 for nearly 350 league appearances. But now he's gone back to his native France, which he wanted to do, and I'm sure he'll be a hero there. So good to get rid of him while he still had some value, and we could still get him off the books. The other one that went is Kalakovic on loan to Lyon, again in France. He was the 4th choice striker, 3-star ability Croat, and he's just not good enough for this squad. I'm a bit surprised he's kept all 3 of the superstars, because where we fit them in I don't know. Only 1 can start, 1 will be on the bench, and there's a clear 3rd choice. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to progress this season, but either way, Kalakovic is doing a good job, and I'm sure he'll have a good time over in Lyon, and it won't harm his value, so that's all good for us. But let's move on to the ins, because they're always the more exciting bits. We've got Florentino Luis. He's joined from Manchester City for 21.5 million up front, a little bit more in add-ons afterwards. A career spanning through Inter, Manchester City, and of course before that Benfica. 3 massive clubs he spent his time at. He's a brilliant midfielder. Can play naturally at centre-half as a ball player, can play naturally in central midfield as a playmaker, and as a deep line player as well. At 32, he is probably just past his best, but he's a model professional, he's an elite player, and there's absolutely no complaints about him signing. It's only a 2-year deal, and I think he's fantastic. So he's going to be first choice this season, and fills the void that we said we were a little bit short in. He's basically coming in to cover Frankie de Jong, who's just a little bit too far over the hill. And the second signing, although not quite as good, is probably more important, because it's a competent goalkeeper. Gregory Bernard for 18 million from the same club. Not world class, not as good as Afonso in the Dorking Wanderers save, probably not as good as DG Akobe that we had at Chelsea, but he's a good goalkeeper and he'll be first choice. Good personality, French number 2, and he's solid. I mean, he shouldn't have to do too much work here, but it's always good to have a decent keeper. Probably no worse than Victor Valdez when Barcelona were breaking records 10 years ago, so we're happy enough with that. And then last, it's just a youngster that came in last week, from our opponents today actually. It's Ezequiel Navarro, 2.7 million, a good young striker, and if we have an injury crisis, he might get a cup game. But otherwise, probably not ready for first team football yet. So that's the business that's been done. The dynamics are looking excellent. We're prepared for the start of the season, and there's still loads of money left for the last 2 weeks of the window. So the next episode could be an interesting one. But let's go and get into our first game today. Atletico Madrid away from home to. Real Madrid have got an opener at home to Getafe, and ours is a tough game. So let's have a look actually at what the media predict now. In the season preview, we're expected second behind Real Madrid. Valencia and Atletico and Sevilla, it's all very close. And the side we face today are in the Europa League 2 and expected to finish 7th. So I think it would be fair to say, of the 3 sides at the top today, we've probably got the hardest test. Who have Valencia got? Valencia are Espanyol. They're expected to finish mid-table too. So it's a very strange start to the season for us. And you can see, it's a side littered with stars. They're all world class, probably bar the keeper. It just needs a little more depth. So in goal for today, we've gone 4-2-3-1. We can't come to Barcelona without playing tiki-taka. It doesn't make sense. So we've gone a little bit up in terms of the passing directness and tempo. I can't be right at the bottom there. But everything else is the same. We play through the centre halves, we distribute quickly, and we play with the highest possible line to win the ball back like terriers when we lose it. And our lineup for today is as follows. It's Bernard in goal, the new goalkeeper. We've got Molina and Galovic, the fullbacks. Galovic has been signed on a new deal by the director of football. He's now happy with what he's earning. Armini and Todibo are the centre halves, both crucial as they're excellent on the ball. Luis, the new signing, alongside Joseph in central midfield. Rui Alves on the right wing, Sancho on the left, and Almada the number 10. With Esposito preferred to Mastanov up front. Mastanov is excellent and a little bit younger, but Esposito's fitter, he's in slightly better spirits, and he's in slightly better goal scoring form. So that's why we've gone for him. Into the first game of the season we go. We're making our La Liga debut with Barcelona. How do you think it's going to go? Fingers crossed we won't have lots of work to do after this. 4-2-3-1 for the home side as well. A really good young team. Who's that in goal? Because he looks like a real player. Danny Martin and Thacon on the left wing. I don't recognise that name either. My knowledge of Spanish football probably not quite as good because it's not been on a channel I could watch until this year. And even then it's only one game a week. So I probably don't know many of the young stars in Spain compared to other countries. But let's get into the first game. It's a massive one for the club and we need to get off to a flyer here. We've got lots of possession early on and we're playing out from the back just as you would expect. Todibo gets it wide to Molina. Inside central midfield, the playmakers are there. Almada drops deep and finds Alves. Out to the right hand side, and he's been robbed of possession there, but he keeps it in the end to Florentino. You can immediately see how much slower the tempo is actually. And we've been robbed on it. We cannot afford to play like this. It's 1-0 to the home side, and immediately I'm drifting out of my ways. The tempo is not staying lower. We're going to have to go up to standard because we've been caught on possession twice in a minute. And then the goalkeeper concedes at his near post. Not the best start to the spell here. With nearly half an hour on the clock, I think we might have to go back to a tactic that's more suited to us because we've not yet had a shot. Alves delivers a free kick. It's headed against the post and eventually cleared away. But that is the first chance we've created all game. This is clearly not a tactic for this Barcelona side as Sancho picks it up on the left-hand side. Are we going to have to go higher tempo because we're getting robbed in possession a lot? But it's wide to Alves on the right. And now we can create something. The best player in the world apparently. But his shot straight at the keeper. It's really poor. And now it's a counter-attack for the home side. Coming forward down the right, the possession ends and the highlight ends. But this has been a poor half from Barcelona. We do not look like title contenders at all. Maybe this move will be a disaster. Everyone's looking anxious. What on earth's going on? We're going to have to do a little bit of work here. We're going to go more like the Chelsea tactic. So let's try and control possession more. We're going to go to a higher tempo. We're going to go a little bit wider. Try and get those wingers and wing-backs into the game. We're going to counter when we get the ball. We're going to distribute to the full-backs too. And we're still going to keep that higher line. But we need a response in this half because that has not been good enough. I really can't work out for such an experienced team either why so many of them look nervous. I know the home side have only had one shot on target and it happens to be the goal. But it's been a really poor performance from us. We've not had many clear chances. Alves delivers this free kick and we're relying on set pieces which we eventually score from one. Todibo puts it in the skipper. He got robbed in possession for the first goal and he's managed to make amends. But with an hour gone, equalising is not what we were looking for. We've got another throw on the left now. Can the possession tire teams out as Sancho picks it up, evades a challenge and evades a second, but Eusebio wins it back eventually and Prieto clears to the left wing, although it's nicked by Molina, the high-flying wing-back. He's got a man inside him in Alves, but goes back to the central midfielder Luiz instead. Luiz switches it. Up there is Sancho. Cuts inside one man. Back to Joseph. He's brought down. Gotta be a penalty. Has to be a penalty. We're going to VAR and it is given. Who will take it? Is it Almada? It is. He's the best penalty taker. So he is going to take this one. The number 10 steps up. It's Thiago Almada versus the goalkeeper. This for the lead. We are ahead. Almada puts the penalty away. And after an early scare, it is now Barcelona 2-1 in the lead. And hopefully back on course for the title push. A good start to the season eventually. But it's taken a long time to get to this point. Boadu is going to come on the left wing. He's sort of the third choice striker as it stands. So inside forward on support. Up front, Esposito will be replaced by Mastanov. And in central midfield, Frankie de Jong will come on for Dan Joseph. He's a good player, but he's beyond his peak now. So I'm not sure how we go about lining this midfield up. Florentino Luis can play as a central midfielder on support. He might as well play as a box-to-box. And then in the deep line role, it will be Frankie de Jong. And hopefully, we can get ourselves on the front foot. Barcelona lead 2-1. And we're finally on top in this match. Valencia, one of the title rivals, they've been pegged back as well. Real Madrid comfortably ahead against Getafe, who are newly promoted. And where are Atletico Madrid? They're 1-0 up. Sevilla 2-1 down. There's some interesting results, so we just need to hang on here. 5 minutes to go, and it's a free kick against us. A dangerous position as well. Nogueira picks it up. Back to midfield, and it's back to Rogic, the centre-half eventually. To the left-hand side to Emmanuel. Can we nick it? This relentless pressure. To be honest, they're playing round us. We're not really pressing high enough. A lot of experienced players, and it's not working too well. As Stacon's in, and Bernard has to make a great save. A real scare here with 5 to go. And I'm not sure that this is a good sign for us. Bernard claims the corner. We're just going to drop those lines very slightly and try and move to a more routine tactic. Maybe we might play the Barcelona way, but this probably isn't the team to do it. Valencia are fallen behind now as well, as De Jong flicks onto a Boadu. We've got a chance to get a third and wrap this up late on. Boadu running across the centre circle. Finds it wide to Alves. Not had the best game in the world. Has been creative. Good set piece delivery. But again, his shot selection is poor and he drifts that one miles wide. Not what you'd expect from one of the best players in world football. But we are hanging on into stoppage time and we're playing out from the back again. We just don't need a repeat of that first half horror show. Bernard's going to play it short. He's taking his time, but picks the left back this time. Really good move. Galovic gives it away though. De Jong can't get there. Vicente into the box. Nogueira's in one-on-one. And we've given away a point. What a ridiculous way to concede. That is absolutely scandalous. Playing out from the back, twice we've given it away. Two of the best centre-halves on the ball in the world. The goalkeeper's supposed to have a good passing range too. And I don't quite understand how this has come about. It's been a really poor performance. We don't deserve to be ahead. And as a result, we've been pegged back. It's a 2-2 draw to start the season. And we didn't really deserve any more. A lot of work to be done. And not the start we were expecting. So I don't know about you, but that game has filled me with more concerns than confidence. We've given away the ball at the back loads despite having some of the best footballers in the world. The Barcelona tactic doesn't work, so we're going to have to go to a more Chelsea-esque one, which worked really well last season, and trust our style of management to coach it. We are still a little bit light on the coaching team because it's not been improved quite so much. And we're going to need a couple more players coming in because there's a few positions we're a bit light, and there's a few players who haven't got much competition. And in a league where the top 3 or 4 generally run away with it and drop very few points, to do that against mid-table sides is probably not the best thing in the world. But we did manage to get a 2-2 draw. The goal we conceded in the first half was to a wonder kid, but if you look at that, he's nowhere near the level of the Barca players. We shouldn't be doing that. And to concede so late on, the lack of game management's poor. Look how rubbish he is in comparison. An average player at this level at best. There is a lot of food for thought in how we're going to play this season. We'll deal with a press conference off camera as 2 players made their debuts, of course. And we will be back for that big game against Real Madrid with hopefully some new signings. Hopefully a good draw for the Champions League group stage, as 2 games a week will need to be contended with then. We might well show the first game from that one as well, depending on how exciting it is and depending on how dramatic transfer deadline day is. So if you're looking forward to that one and seeing how much we can recover before that point, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It does make such a difference. Let me know down in the comments after the game if your opinion on where we're going to finish has changed. And looking at the Real Madrid squad pre-season, I'm not sure we're going to be able to match them this year. It might take 2 to get there, but whether we'll be given that time at Barcelona, I don't know. We'd probably have to win the Champions League to get away with it. So we're going to be facing Real Madrid next time out. We'll have a look at just how good they are. And we'll of course look at our Champions League group stage draw as well as our new signings. So if you want to stay up to date with that and follow along this season, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases on the channel, as well as weekly live streams, and a brand new series tomorrow lunchtime is Macclesfield Town, and they are going to be the stars of the show. 1 PM Saturday and Sunday, and it starts tomorrow and then carries on every weekend for a full season. So I really hope you can join along for that one. I'd love to see you there, and thank you so much for your support as always. Finally, please do check out the podcast channel in the eye above. We've grown massively in the last couple of months and we've had a really great time. We've been able to interview loads of professional footballers. We've been able to do loads of prediction shows, podcasts, and hopefully soon match day vlogs as well. So please do come and check that out in the eye above. It's great fun to make, and I hope you enjoy watching it as much as we do making it. But a big thanks for watching along for another season and another club in this head coach story. Hopefully the last one, if we can make everything happen. We need a La Liga title and we need a Champions League trophy. How many years will it take? And will we get sacked before we achieve it? I hope you'll stick around to find out over the next couple of seasons. A big thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.